Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, President of VFM Leonardo, and welcome to the VTV channel. I'm really excited today to introduce another on-demand virtual roundtable discussion on our VTV channel. This series brings you more expert opinions and perspectives on the most important topics facing e-business professionals in the hotel. Today I have three participants joining me to explore how hotels can adapt to the multi-screen world, in particular mobile. Bill Keane is with us, and Bill is the Director of Mobile Solutions at Intercontinental Hotels Group, where he oversees the development of mobile marketing innovations and services. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you.
Jared Simon is also with us, and Jared is the co-founder and serves as the Chief Operating Officer of HotelTonight, the world's first mobile hotel booking app.
Thanks.
And Darryl Walker is with us. Darryl is the head of e-commerce at RETINA, which owns and manages over 750 apartments. He is responsible for online distribution, representation, and revenue. He's held similar positions at Think Hotels, Merlin Apartments, and Oceanic. Bill, Jared, and Darryl, thank you for joining us, and welcome to VTV.
Thanks.
Our topic is going to focus around the mobile world, and it seems to me that we can't go a day without some kind of news, in particular in the hotel business and in the broader marketing world, with the topic of mobile. And it seems to be on every marketer's mind. Let me ask each of you, if I were a general manager or a marketing director at a hotel property, should I really be focused on mobile? And if I should, why, and what should I be doing? Bill, do you want to help us out first?
Yeah, sure. Clearly we run a portfolio of brands with over 4,500 hotels. So we typically tell a hotel owner, mobile is becoming increasingly important, but them taking on any kind of direct management over it could be very time-consuming for them, right? And it's better to potentially, let us as the franchisor handle the scale, handle the platforms and things like that from like a transactional perspective. But be very mindful that as guests are arriving, they're arriving with a mini computer in their hands. There's more power in that device than we used to have back in the 90s when the web first came around. So they're using it to really acclimate themselves to the property. So be mindful that there are ways that you can reach out to them and start to welcome them as a guest.
But even as IHG helping them with the technology, are there things that they should be versant in the content about their property that might be different on mobile versus other devices?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that you always talk about with mobile, it's a new context, and it's location aware. So understand, one, it's a small screen. So what they'd rather do is potentially see things than actually have to read, pinch and zoom. And then two, it's location aware, and understand that they're using it as a stay management and a transit tool. So use the fact that it knows where it is and it knows where the hotel is, and provide those things that are really what I call acclimation, orientation type things, like mapping to the hotel. A visual of the hotel, so they may, okay, that's the front entrance. I know that's the correct place. So again, using the context of the device and the form factor of the device to get them, and as we always say, our hotels are kind of your home away from home. It's your cocoon. So help them acclimate into the property.
Right. Jared, what are your thoughts on the use of or the hotel property and their role in mobile and what they should be aware of?
Well, I think like as Bill said, it's definitely something that is here to stay. I think most folks recognize that as a transactional tool, mobile is at some point going to probably surpass the PC as an online booking tool. So it's definitely something that everyone needs to be aware of. The question is, how do you use mobile as a hotel? And does it take over entirely, or does it serve a unique purpose? And the reality is, what we find is that mobile serves a unique purpose, and hotels should utilize mobile for that unique purpose. It's for people who are on the go, It's for people generally who aren't planning their family's vacation out 6 months. It's for people who need to get in and out and get on their day. And so it serves a very unique purpose. And as any business, certainly as hotels, you should use it for that purpose and use other platforms for their purpose. That means pricing accordingly. That means serving content accordingly. That means offers that reflect the nature of the type of businesses being transacted on those platforms.
Yeah, okay. So there's a couple of things that you touched upon there that I want to pick up on a little bit later. But before we do get there, Darryl, your experience is probably a little bit closer at the property level than Bill and Darryl. And I know that you've actually implemented a number of initiatives, marketing initiatives on the mobile side of things. What's your view on what the person in charge of marketing for the hotel property is doing?
In terms of reporting to the general manager or the head of marketing, in which direction we should be going with mobile, the easiest thing for me to do is to show the stats. And what we've been experiencing is a 50 to 100% increase month on month, year on year, showing an increase in mobile users accessing our website. For me, that speaks volumes in terms of having to shift focus, or at least have a strategy for converting those guests' looks to books. So with that in mind, you can't really ignore the platform, and you have to try and reach these guests on their chosen platform. So if their chosen platform is increasingly becoming mobile, what I've tried to do is develop ways to make that journey much simpler for a mobile user. And I would say if you make it much simpler, conversions will rise. At the same time as we saw a 50% to 100% increase on mobile traffic to the website, we also saw the conversion was less than half of our regular users. So again, it's quite obvious to see that there's plenty more mobile users viewing the site, but if the site isn't optimized for mobile technology, the conversion is never going to be where you want it to be unless that optimization is made.
And are there, so on that point, because I think it touches base with one of the points that Jared was just talking about as well, is the consumer that's using the mobile device, is it solely being used as a device to book a hotel within the next day or 24 hours or whatever it is that we keep reading about in all of these articles, or are consumers actually using the mobile device for a broader sense of the shopping journey? And I know that each one of you has kind of a unique position in the marketplace in that way. And Jared, your app in particular was built for last-minute booking. But are we seeing that consumers are, in fact, using mobile devices for a broader sense of the shopping journey? Darryl, do you have an opinion on that? Yeah,
I mean, I'm seeing that they are viewing more than one page. They're not just going through the booking process. There is a good percentage that is, and it's still mainly short lead times in terms of looking and using the tool to book. But we are seeing that they're having a look through the galleries. They're viewing multiple pages, so it does tend to suggest that they are browsing as well as just using it as a platform to book.
Jared, what's the experience of HotelTonight?
Well, my experience is fairly limited because we only serve up same-day bookings. So, I can't comment on what people are using it for outside of that, although the experience of the online travel agencies in general would seem to confirm that, a good majority of folks who are booking hotels are booking within 24, 48 hours on mobile devices. We do find that people, as Darryl had mentioned, do sort of they are browsing around and looking at lots of content if it's available. They're not just coming in, leaving, and getting on with things. But our experience is limited.
What type of content are they viewing, and what do you think is important to the consumer when they're on a mobile device?
Well, consistent with our view that when a consumer is on a mobile device, they are they're at least on HotelTonight, they're booking for tonight only. We try to serve them content that's relevant for that booking experience and try to cut out everything that's not relevant for that booking experience. So what is someone looking for when they're booking for tonight? They're looking for what's going on at the hotel right now, what's doing in the area right now, whether there is a mini bar or do I need to stop around the corner and get something to eat? What options are there around the corner? What are the transportation options from where I am right now? Those kinds of things are much more relevant for these users.
Bill, what is IHG seeing as it relates to consumers using your websites and mobile apps,
right,
and whether there is a broader role for those devices in the total shopping journey?
Yeah, we kind of divided into segments of it. We call it the guest journey. I think Darryl alluded to kind of the same thing. And there's certainly that search, shop, and compare phase and book phase. Then there's this sort of pre-stay planning where they're, maybe day of stay, they're kind of getting acclimated. And then there's actually the property arrival and stay management. So we look at our use cases in those areas. We're building out really property integration right now. We've got some limited integration there, but you'll see us focus on that. But in those early two stages, the behaviors, like everyone else, like Jared and Darryl, 50, 60% are same day. But we see twice as many people actually viewing a current reservation than making a booking, which tells you they're using it as a stay they're starting that acclimation period of, okay, where's the hotel, confirmation number. We integrate maps to the hotel there, simple tap to call, quick to call capability if they want to reach the front desk. So you can see that the behaviors is they're using it to start to, acclimate to the property. And then we've got some limited on-property offers. Hotel can load in, a free drink or a discount on food, which they can then redeem, show the phone and redeem at the property. So we're easing into that, offer area, but eventually you'll see us actually build in functional capability around checking in, around, using your phone to retrieve your room key, eventually focus on food and beverage and things like that. But right now we're over-indexed in that search, shop, and compare, and then sort of that pre-stay and acclimating yourself on your way stages of our journey.
Right. I have to be honest. I use my smartphone and my tablet most of the times together, and oftentimes while I'm watching TV as well. And although I have never actually booked a hotel on my smartphone, and I have gone to HotelTonight many times, so I'm one of the non-conversions, I guess. I find it shopping around on that and my iPad to be as convenient as using my laptop. And is that something that you guys are experiencing? Are consumers actually using multi-devices either simultaneously or one after the other? And if so, what's the implications to the hotelier in order to ensure that they have presumably an experience that is somewhat consistent across those different devices and channels that consumers are looking at them on?
I'll take it. I think as an industry, we tend to group tablet and mobile as the same thing, and we kind of look at them. They're different. They're different form factors, and the behaviors that consumers undertake on them are different. Meaning, on a true mobile device, it's very transaction oriented. I want to book. I want to find out where the hotel is. It's very transactional. Whereas on a tablet, it's very exploration. The metaphor we use is it's a magazine. We call it couch commerce too, because 70 to 80% of our traffic on a tablet is actually coming off of a Wi-Fi network. So it's really not mobile. If you think about it, in fact, they're quite stationary. They're sitting down, and so content and session length become much longer on a tablet. It looks more like desktop, and your booking window looks more like desktop on a tablet than it does on a mobile device, which says it's a more leisure-oriented booker that they want to do more exploration. They want to, we say 25% of our sessions are over 5 minutes on a tablet and less than 8% on a mobile device. So they're spending longer time. They want to explore more. They're doing vacation planning. I think Jared mentioned earlier, you're not doing vacation planning on a mobile phone.
Right. Darryl, what's your experience?
Yeah, pretty similar actually. We find that tablet users are generally experiencing the same sort of journey as a desktop user, and the mobile journey is very much based around contacting, looking at the map, a lot more sort of a more immediate functionality. So yeah, it's very, very similar.
Now, Jared, I'm assuming, given that your business model is all around booking and all around booking tonight, you would be experiencing that. Have you seen any kind of differences between multi-device users and/or, and this gets into my next topic, app versus website, and whether that has an impact as well?
Well, we're mobile only, so we don't have any PC presence. But within the mobile, sort of broadly speaking, mobile devices, our experience is right on point with what Bill was saying. We see a definite divergence in terms of the way people use a tablet, which is much more akin to a PC, versus the way they use the phone. And so as a result, we've designed different apps for those different devices. We find that people will go on their iPad and explore a bit and then finish the booking on their iPhone when they're out and about. And so we've designed the apps for those purposes. And I think that's important. It's an important implication for everyone to keep in mind, that rather than designing sort of a one-size-fits-all sort of application that goes across all devices, your better bet is to take the extra time to develop tailor-made applications for the use case on each device and for the form factor of each device, for sure.
Right. So that's interesting. What types of things or features would be on your tablet versus your smartphone devices? If there's different experiences, and also put into that, what you guys wish that you could put into your tablet, even if you don't have it yet.
Well, for us, our iPad app certainly takes advantage, first of all, of the larger screen size. And so as a result, you can compare a lot of different things on one page. You can look at photos that are full screen photos that take advantage of the iPad's Retina display. So we're maniacal about the quality of the photo content that we serve on our apps, so that when you maximize it to full screen on your iPad, it's going to look beautiful. We make sure that maps can show a lot more context on an iPad than they can on, say, an iPhone or an Android phone. So things like that are what we concentrate on.
Right. So on that point, you have an interesting way that you onboard your hotels. In fact, I think that you guys take the photography yourselves. Why is that? Is that because the hotels don't have the content, or is there something in particular that you're looking for?
Well, I think there are a couple reasons why we've done that. One is that most hotel photography, for starters, is horizontally oriented, and most people are using our applications vertically. So we don't want that letterbox kind of situation, or we don't want to make weird cropping errors on photos that may result in that kind of thing. Most hotel photography is not of the resolution that's required to be full screen and look sharp on a Retina display. And then again, going back to to tailoring the content for the specific use case, what we find is that people who are booking on HotelTonight want to know what the vibe is like at that hotel right now, whether they're looking for a quiet night or a party night or a pampered night or whatever it is. Most hotel photos are staged. They're taken during the day. There are no people in them, for good reasons. But that doesn't fit with what our users are using our app for. So we make sure to try to take photos that are a little bit more in the moment, look a little bit more real, and really showcase the hotel in sort of all its glory in the moment.
Right.
That's a different type of photography.
Yeah, and presumably though, like Bill and Darryl, how are you guys addressing that if that's something that you're experiencing as well?
From my side, we do quite a lot of high resolution photography for the exact same reason, because in full screen mode it can lose a lot of its impact if the quality isn't good enough. And also virtual tours seem to be very popular, particularly if they're quick to load. The only problem with some virtual tours is sometimes they're a little bit slow to load. But if they're done right, 360-degree views of the rooms really sells the product very well.
Yeah, I'll say that. I think I agree with Jared on. Sometimes the hotel photography is product-centric, meaning they have images of what you're buying, like the room, the bed, and things like that. But there's more of the branding or emotional side imagery that comes in. So we have used tablet for more what we call brand messaging, brand immersion and exploration. So if you look at like our Intercontinental concierge app, it's all about an in-the-know experience provided by our concierge, and it's much more branded imagery, less product imagery. We also have an Intercontinental chef app, cookbook app that it's really about travel as cuisine and exploration of cuisine, and so it's a very richer, more experiential type imagery than you would see in typically like a transactional on booking type imagery you would see on a booking transaction.
Let's talk about webs versus mobile websites, or sorry, apps versus mobile websites. Now, Jared, your business is very much app-centric. So I don't know whether you have insights on this or not, but I'm really interested from you guys from the perspective of, do you see different behavior on mobile websites versus mobile apps? Are they different types of consumers? Are they looking at different content? Are session times different? What can you tell us about the behavior of a consumer when they access an app versus a website? And Bill, you're probably the one guy here that has both, whereas Darryl's probably more website or site-centric, and Jared is obviously more app-centric. So why don't you share your thoughts with us first?
Fine. Me? Yeah. We kind of separated web and app in that when we first built our first native app, I'm kind of old, so I go back to the 90s where there was this whole concept of what's your desktop strategy and your emoticon in the upper left-hand corner of your computer, and how did you get that real estate and that kind of thing. So I kind of used that and said that what we would like to do for the native app is target loyalists. I want to be on the first screen in the upper left, right? So we richly tailored all of our initial native mobile solutions to Priority Club members, which is our rewards program, right? And then we complemented that with web to really drive what we call maybe an initial transaction and then graduate the consumer up to a relationship. And so you could take web as sort of harvesting transactions coming off search engines, coming off of bought media, those kind of things. And then once we get them in, like our product, ask them to be a member, then we ask for real estate on the phone. It's kind of the way we've approached it.
But going back to behavior on the two, are you seeing, like, our site, in a simple way, our session time is different between websites and mobile apps?
Right, yeah. In conversion rates, if we're looking at a booking path, definitely on native app, conversion rates are much higher. You could say part of that is, due to it's a better experience when it's sitting on the phone, but it also has to do with the profile of the user, which we over-index on Priority Club members there. So they're already a little bit loyal, higher transactors to us. But yeah, more time on the app than web. Web, usually they're coming, like I said, we do a lot of search engine marketing. We do a lot of bought media. We'll do a lot of location-based placements and things. So they're drawn in off of maybe a particular particular teaser, but not really into a relationship. And so they maybe look at one or two hotels and move on.
Right. Darryl, any insights on this topic?
Yeah, I think we haven't gone into the app sphere yet, mainly because for us the focus is still quite heavily transactional. I think once you move into the app space, it's definitely more about CRM, the customer relationship management, about building a loyalty program, repeat business, giving them access to a few more personal bits rather than the mobile site. The mobile site's really our sort of first phase, concentrating on that transactional, making it easier for them to book with their chosen platform. But I think an app's definitely the way to foster a bit more interaction between yourselves and the customer on a personal level. So I think that's definitely phase 2 for us.
Right. But Jared, you guys must. I mean, apps for you are transactional in nature.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a mobile website for folks that don't happen to have the devices that we have apps for, which are Android and iOS. The interesting thing about it is we find that the vast majority of the people who use that mobile website actually are using it on an Android or an iOS device. So they're just folks that haven't downloaded the app, and we need to work harder to get them to download the app instead. The debate between mobile apps and mobile websites and native apps, I think, comes down to the amount of resource you have to build for different devices. And if you do have the resources to build for different devices, you're much better off building native apps that reflect those different devices' form factors and functional differences and things like that. If you don't have, you're going to convert better, and the users are certainly going to appreciate those little touches. That's what we've found. But if you don't have the resources, certainly building a mobile website is a great way to get out there in a lot of different places. You sacrifice a bit in terms of functionality and performance.
Right, but presumably what you're saying as well underlying that is you guys aren't really seeing any difference in consumer behavior on your websites versus your apps. Is that true?
Sorry, I missed that.
Are you seeing any difference in consumer behavior on your actual sites versus your apps?
Well, we try really hard to...
Are they all, the same?
We try really hard to maintain feature parity to the extent possible, to minimize differences. But there certainly are differences, and the mobile web apps don't convert as well as the native apps. And we chalk that up to performance differences and whatever functional differences there are as a result of our not being able to take advantage of the app's hardware or the form factor, or sorry, the device's hardware or form factor.
Yeah, sorry, Bill, go ahead.
No, my screen just went dead. Sorry.
Did you want to add any more to that?
No, I was just saying my screen disappeared. I couldn't see you guys.
Okay.
That's a tragedy.
Well, while I have you on the spot, I know that IHG did a recent refresh of its mobile websites. Presumably that was done because you learned something about the behavior of the consumers and how they were using your sites. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what it is that you refreshed and why?
Yeah, I mean, I think the underlying factor was something that the consumer may not visually see all that much, but it's just the speed. We were probably like most legacy companies. We had a website a couple years ago, then made it extendable, but even that became difficult on rendering, and then just overall performance and speed of the site. The expectation of a consumer is it should react like a native app. So that was, it was a whole architecture. Then the other thing is we took a specific view on pathing into the site, and less than 50% of our visits actually start on the homepage. They come in through an individual hotel page or through our performance marketing program, which would drive them into a search result set for like a city. So we paid particular attention on first page view, and how did the customer actually arrive, and were they able to see and orient themselves to all of the tasks at hand. So particular attention paid to the hotel details page, because that was the most indexable thing by search engines. It was the place where we buy bought media and drive them into. So pathing became a big piece on that, on top of speed. And then we also then realized that people were coming in off of, they weren't all necessarily transacting. They may be coming off of a confirmation email or a pre-stay communication. So again, was all the content there that they needed given the context in which they arrived?
Before we leave today, I want to give each one of you guys an opportunity to share with us anything else that you think that e-marketers in the hotel business should know about the mobile revolution, if you will. Jared, we'll start with you. If there's anything else that you wanted to share with us today.
Well, I mean, hopefully I can convey a bit of our excitement about what this new device sort of brings. It brings us access to consumers at a time that we never had access to them before, and it brings those consumers power to make decisions at a time when they never were able to make them before, when they're on the go, they have an impulse to do something, and they can be spontaneous about things. And it's really exciting for us as an industry to be able to take advantage of that. And in order to do that, I think the challenge for us is to not apply sort of one-size-fits-all rules and traditions to this new this new way of booking, this completely new segment that's appearing. Treat it as a new segment and treat it as an opportunity to segment the market even further and gain more and sort of build the sandbox even bigger than it was before. That's what's really exciting about this. I think that it's less of a share shift and more of the ability to invite a whole new segment of bookers into our community and increase everyone's lot as a result.
Darryl, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here as well, because I'd love for you, your role and your function within your organization is probably closer to those people that are responsible for frontline marketing in hotels across a wide spectrum of online channels and devices. What can you share with us today as something that they should be aware of before they step into the mobile environment? Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think where a lot of the buzz in the industry has been happening has been around the booking aspect and the sheer numbers that we're producing, HotelTonight is producing, those kind of things. But know that it's almost more valuable as a tool that enables consumers to manage their stay and how they use it in and around the property, not just to book to get there. So it's going to be revolutionary at the local level. There's nothing more local than a mobile phone because it's always tethered to you, it's always on you. And so there'd be opportunities to market to the guests as they're arriving and as they're inside your hotel.
Right. Darryl, your turn now.
Yeah, from a provider point of view, I think the excitement should be shared because, as I mentioned before, the amount of people wanting to book and the need to book on mobile and the need to use mobile to learn more about the product is growing, and it is very achievable for providers to optimize their site for mobile as a first stage. But I agree with Jared. I think if you've got the resources to build across multiple platforms, personalized to devices and different platforms, you will start seeing an even better conversion. But I still think it's very, very achievable for hotels and service department providers to make this jump fairly comfortably on the resources they have spared to do so.
Right. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Jared, Bill, and Darryl, thank you very much for joining us today on VTV and sharing your knowledge and your insights with our audience.
Thanks.
Thank you.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to post your comments on this episode of VTV or tweet using the hashtag VTV. Thank you.